Welcome back to the Williams Real Estate channel. Today we have a special guest, Andrew Keyes. Andrew is the founder and director of United Built, a residential construction company based on the central coast of New South Wales. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks, Geordie. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. So I thought today, just for the listeners, we'll run through Andrew's career to starting off in construction and building his business on the Central Coast, run through some of Andrew's latest projects, and then we'll also run through some key common maintenance requirements on maintaining property as they're becoming more and more questions arising as we continue to buy property for clients. It's a never-ending project to keep property maintenance upkeep well. So we'll run them through Andrew and we'll get his advice from a construction perspective in relation to how to fix them, costing and timing. So we'll hand it over to Andrew. If you want to give us a backstory of how it all started, mate, how to get to where you are today.
Well, I left school in year 10. Went out, did my apprenticeship. Worked with a local builder on the Central Coast for about would have been maybe 12 to 13 years. We just did a lot of everything, a lot of all residential, anything from digging a hole to putting a roof on. So we covered all bases of a renovation, new builds. And once I sort of had enough experience, my dad, who had a commercial project management company in Sydney, he had enough of that side. So we partnered up. We created United Built, a residential construction company on the Central Coast. And now we've been doing this for about nearly 7 years. It's a family business. My brother, he works with us. My brother's wife, he works with us, and there's about 8 of us all up. It's been going strong. We do anything from a bathroom reno to a new house or develop properties as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So you can see the screen now.
I can see the screen. Yes, yes,
Yeah, awesome. So how about we run through a couple of your latest projects?
yes.
We start with Carry On.
All right, Carry On was a big job for us. It was an existing house, and we pretty much just demolished everything, leaving up probably 2 walls. We This way they didn't have to go through council and the extra costs of doing a new build. It was classified as a renovation extension. It was a full house renovation extension. We did this job actually through COVID, so it was we had our challenges there with rising in prices, but we come out at the end and we're happy with the job. The clients were happy with the job, and we've come up quite nice.
So did you lump sum this job?
What was that? Sorry.
This was a lump sum job,
This,
pricing
yes,
wise?
yeah. We all our jobs are fixed contract jobs, so it gives the client, I guess, assurance that there's,
Yeah.
in a fixed contract. The banks normally want fixed contracts,
Yeah.
and that's how we like to work as well. Obviously, there's variations along the way with unforeseen things, but generally speaking, it's pretty much we'll give you a fixed contract, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's good because there's not every builder currently now looking to give fixed contracts. Most of them even, would you say, do cost plus still?
Cost plus, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you
There's a
sort
lot more
of,
common than a fixed contract these days.
yeah, pushing the risk onto the client when you're doing cost plus. So you never
Yeah.
really know what the end price is until you pretty much
Yeah.
finished it.
Yeah.
What about Terrigal?
So Terrigal, this was a good one. The clients we were doing work for, it was actually their daughter's property and her husband and family, and they're from Melbourne. So they wanted to, it was just a little garage. We reinforced the garage, and then we built a loft on top. So it's the multi-generational living now. So if we find this a lot, people coming in, welcoming their parents back, or their kids are staying a lot longer. So we've turned this garage into a whole nother, essentially, dwelling. Um, so this can be good for if you've got a property and you want to put another dwelling on, rent it out, or your parents want to move back in, or your kids are staying a lot longer. We're finding
So
this is happening a lot more these days.
it's also almost like a dual lock property
Yeah,
now where you could,
like a granny flat, essentially.
yeah.
But yeah, so this was a good one. Again, it was we just took the roof off, bit of reinforcement, and went on top of it. Used a few nice finishes just for it to blend in with the surroundings. A lot of bush and trees around. Um, yeah,
That's
so
not nice one. Blue Bay.
Blue Bay again. It was existing. It was like an old, would have been an old 80s. Oh yeah, an old 80s asbestos house. Major renovations here. Extension, garage, entertaining area on the top. And the lady Jan who's living there, we're actually, this was done finished up about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and Torrance titled this block now, and we're doing a townhouse up the back for her. So she'll sell the front unit, and she's going to move into the back one now. So this has been a really good one for us and
That's good.
the client.
Yeah, so if there's any listeners who have property on the central coast of New South Wales that may be sitting on 700, 800,000 to 1,000 squares, and it has that development upside where you could either duplex or do a battle axe block. Working with someone like Andrew and United Built can be very handy if you look to like a joint venture sort of arrangement where you can provide your property and then United Built can also contribute to the construction costs and then the profit in the projects, like doing a small development. If you have an older house looking to knock it down to do a duplex, if you joint venture, you don't necessarily have to fund the
Yeah.
build.
Yeah.
United Built could do that, and then part of the deal would be the client would provide the land. So there's those types of options too when looking to do it. And how often have you've done a few of them recently, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's look, yeah, the joint venture is good. The client won't have to no outlay, sort of provide that property, and look, in the end, it's got to be a win-win for everyone, and it's as long as everyone's happy with it, yeah, it normally will come off quite well. There's a lot of that kind of work going on the coast as well. Um, yeah.
Would you say to do a duplex, you need how many squares minimum would it be at
Oh,
least?
yeah, you probably about that 750. I think.
Okay.
Just it depends on the block as well. If you've got a corner block's really good,
Yeah.
um, or a laneway access, but normally that's 750. I think they're allowing you to do it on smaller blocks these days as well. But to get a nice good product, that 750 would be a good size. Um,
Green Point, this one was a cracker. So this is a slightly different
yes, this was a good one. We
project. Yeah.
so we bought this property. It was riddled with termites, and it was just an old brick home in a prime location. It's that old saying, the worst house in the best street. And it was filled with termites, which is good for us. It scares off a lot of buyers, and it's nothing that we haven't dealt with before. So we come into this one again, a full home renovation, decks, extended some decks on it to maximise that view. High-end finishes. Yeah, you can see what it used to look like there. And yeah, we were really happy with this. And we come off with a great result in the end, which is we were really happy, really proud with this one.
Yeah, it was like almost three, like 180-degree views. But did you add an extra room to this one? Because it was a three-bedder originally?
Yeah, so we it was a three better. We did some internal rearrangement, which allowed us to add another room. They were all big rooms as well, and we moved around the master suite to capture the great view out there. And yeah, it was double garage. We've actually worked with the client who bought this property since then. We've done a bit of extra work with them as well. They've been yeah, they've been good.
That's
They've loved it, as you can see the views there.
it's a cracker. Batto Bay. So this was was it
Yep.
renovation for a client?
Again, yeah, it's the full house renovation. So it was an old 80s house, may have even been a little bit before, early 80s, late 70s. This was an extension out the back of the house, and the full renovation. We dropped the pool in for this one as well. It was just yeah, it was a good one for us clients. Again, Brendan and Bridget, they were lovely clients and a great outcome. Um,
North Gosford. So this was another flip job, wasn't it?
this was a flip job. Yeah, this was, I think, our first one we did as United Built. We picked this one up right as COVID sort of hit. So there was a lot of uncertainty in the market, and it was rundown house. It was dirty. Again, scared off a lot of people. And in the as that sort of COVID hit, a lot of people were very hesitant, and we picked this up for a steal. So again, you just got to find those deals. And then we just did the full house reno, entertaining area at the back. We did the decks. We added a sort of a carport garage to the front. And again, the master suite, another bedroom, and yeah.
So you
Again,
converted this one again from a three-bed into a four-bed, was it?
yeah, adding that extra bedroom, adding that extra bathroom. We got a suburb record for this one when we went to sell it.
Wow,
So,
that's awesome. So because you would have added how much value in terms of when you added that extra room, how
oh,
much would you say
we we
would add to the
we
value by converting it from a three to a four?
we sold it for pretty much double for what we
Wow.
paid. Obviously, take away the building costs and that, but yeah, just by adding that bedroom, that extra toilet, even doesn't even need to be a full bathroom shower, just that extra toilet, extra bedroom. Yeah, just creates that.
But
Adds a
how
lot of.
much for an extra? So to
I
add an
think
extra room and a bathroom to a three-bedroom house, what could that be
so.
priced
If you're going
as
to extend
roughly?
it, do an extension, add like I guess a bathroom or bedroom ensuite. You could, depending on finishes and what you're working with on the ground, you can between about 80 grand, 80 to, well, then it can go up from there. Um, but yeah, so
And
that,
then,
that
and
80
if you
grand,
say if you can, and then say if you're converting internal, like if you got creative on the
design.
way that the design, if you didn't actually have to do the extension, but maybe just knock a couple of walls out and reconfigure,
Yeah, look,
is that
you could probably do around that between 50, and then depends how far you go again. But say you
yeah?
could probably add another bathroom and bedroom for about 50 to 80 grand inside, and then probably again 80 upwards on an extension. Um,
Bensville?
yeah, Benzel, this was yeah, a nice one. We're in a bushfire zone here, so a lot of hardwood, um, aluminium meshes for the window, gutter guards, few little bits and pieces that you just got to add in to a bushfire zone. This was again an extension, so we extended the living room, so we just made it a bigger living room. It was an elderly couple who lived here, just a bigger living room and a big deck. They loved having their family up over Chrissy and throughout the year, so that we've just made a bigger, enjoyable space for them to have their family up. Really, this one.
That's good. All right, so I'm going to pull up some slides now. You can see them now, Andrew.
Yep, popping up there.
Okay. So common property maintenance that come up on really every type of property. We'll run through these, and I'm going to pick Andrew's brain of how to fix, how much cost roughly, and time to expect. So when you're arranging your contractors or you're dealing with your property managers to fix common maintenance requirements on properties, you'll have a better idea of what the scope should be, how much time and cost it should be, so then you're not getting your leg pulled by the contractors. So first one, pretty common, I find, is cracks, hairline cracks in rendered brickwork. We've been buying a fair few units, villas, townhouses that are typically built from double brick construction and internal render rather than brick with a timber stud or aluminium stud and gyprock. It's the older style. They don't build them like they used to, but definitely the double brick and rendered
Yeah.
tends to have these hairline cracks in pretty much all of them, especially if they haven't been renovated in recent years. How would you fix it, Andrew?
Well, I guess like what you said, these older houses with the rendering inside and that, look, you always got movement. Uh, and if you've got a render, it's going to show up that movement. Hairline cracks, look, they're common. They shouldn't scare you away. Just a bit of like, oh, if you have a painter in for a day, they could go through. You can use, there's different kind of products you can use. You can use like a flexible sealant, rub it in, give it a bit of a sand off and some paint. There's just with two different surfaces, you're always going to get two different movement, I guess. And with the age of things, you will always see a crack here or there, but it's just a sort of a visual thing. If you
When you say movement,
so it'd be movement is in there's expansion and contraction, hot and cold. Yeah, the inside's warmer than the outside. The outside's warmer than the inside. And then you've got also subgrade movement as well. If you've had a lot of rain, things tend to, so I guess, swell up a bit, or if it's really dry, things sort of start to shrink a bit. If you've got I guess a bunch of cracks going around, you could have a painter in fixing that up in a day, and they might charge anywhere between say $500 to $800 or for a day's work, and then it's all sorted.
yeah. It's pretty much a common ongoing maintenance requirement for the older style type of double brick construction rendered. I mean, even recently I spent a couple of grand on a 3-bedroom house out at regional Queensland, probably about actually a year or two ago. Had these similar hairline cracks all throughout the house, and it came about when it was quite dry. So, obviously, it's probably if the ground is shrinking and tightening up, if there's not much water, it could have a little bit of movement in the house, and it shows up
Brick,
throughout
brick,
that render.
bricks are porous too, so if it's wet, they're gonna take in the moisture. When it's
Yeah.
dry, they're gonna lose the moisture.
So not always a most alarming, scariest thing. It can be pretty easy fix if it's not major structural underpinning works. If it's just hairline stuff, bit
Yeah,
of touch and paint.
and you got to remember these houses have been there for what 50, 60 years and that, so they're 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 there. So
Yeah, they're
they're
gone through the
pretty
test of
solid.
time. They're
Yeah,
not falling into a sinkhole or anything like that.
that's it.
Next one we find is
Very
gaps
common.
in floorboards.
Yes.
Mostly, this is a typical of what we find in the like a single or two-story walk-up unit where they have the floating floors. So this is typical what we find. But also in the houses, it's more so that older school hardwood, proper
Proper solid.
timber floorboards, on bearers.
Yeah.
How would you fix just basic
So with
vinyl flooring?
I guess with a floating floor, they do move. That's why they call it a floating floor. And over time, sometimes they do start to separate. Look, you come in, um, you can pop off. Sometimes you can move them around. You put a bit of glue in those joints and kick them back together. Otherwise, you engage a contractor or go to a flooring company, a flooring shop, and they'll give you a floorer's number or a couple. I always say get 3 quotes. You go in. What tends to fix it is you pop off your skirting boards. And then you can either sort of pull up the boards to a point, relay them, bit of glue in those joints, making sure there is space for the floor to move around it. Depending on the size of the floor, will depend on the cost and the time it takes to do. But it is a common thing, and it is an easy fix. You just have to find a contractor that you're confident in and get 3 prices, know what it's going to cost at the start before you go ahead with it.
Would you say like a carpenter or a floorer would be most suitable?
So
Flooring
look,
contractor or or because a flooring contractor would want to rip it up and replace it, right? But if you get a
uh,
carpenter in, they'll just touch it up a bit.
yeah. So I guess it just depends on that contractor. You could have someone trying to obviously upsell you to new flooring, but
Yeah.
say if you engage just a carpenter, look for like a 2-bedroom unit or a two-bedroom flat. You probably get it done in it'd be no more than 3 days, and look, that could probably cost you maybe 3 grand, with a bit of material, a bit of fat built into that. But
Yeah.
again, always get your 3 quotes. Get them to scope out the quote and
Mm.
just
You
cross
could
check.
almost get them to give you 2 options to touch up existing flooring or to redo. Because for 3 grand, you can almost just relay it, right?
Well, yeah, you could, just depending on the product again. But
Yeah.
look, it may you could probably,
Depends on
that's
the scope.
on the scope again. Yeah.
Jam doors and windows.
Yes.
So, sticky windows, why does
Sticky.
that happen?
Oh, I guess in some of these older places, you've just had years and years of paint going over the top of the next coat, and they've just every time you put a bit of paint on, it just gets that little bit thicker. And half of the time, they just need a good sanding back, and then a new coat of paint. You've got to sand through those. Might be 10 coats of paint that they've put on over the, I don't know, 50 years or something. So sand
Mm.
it back to the timber and then give it another couple of coats of paint. This can be done again. You can engage a contractor, painter, um, go around with
Ha-
them, make sure they're confident in what they're doing. 3 quotes again.
Handyman too.
Handyman, that's a good handyman job. Yep, yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
Doors, jam doors. So
Yeah, again, you it'd just be a bit of adjustment normally, maybe a new pair of hinges, or again sanding some paint back. Um,
or
a new
plain. Could you
lock.
take the
You can take
take
yeah,
the door
take
off?
it off. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, and like a new set of hinges, will probably pay $10 for a good set of hinges, and $40, $50 for a new lock. Uh, yeah, it's common things, easy fixes.
Pretty straightforward. Terracotta sewer pipe. So I mean, this is a common one, I guess. Again for the older type of house, or if you're buying in a block of flats, they used to use these older terracotta pipe work for the sewer. As you can see, this, I mean, little diagram shows that the roots are starting to find their way in and grow into the pipe. I mean, you can get a plumber to come and just drill it out, but once there is sort of a hairline crack here or there,
Yeah.
they tend to keep arising, I find. So how do you fix it?
So this one, just depending where the pipe is, but like you said, you can get a jetter up there, but once the pipes are starting to crack a bit, it can be an ongoing issue. Um,
Can you reline the inside without actually having to dig it up and relay a new
I know
pipe like PVC or
the council guys do that. They've got a machine that does it. Um, I'm not too familiar with it. Normally, what we do, because we do come across a lot of clay pipes on the Central Coast, is normally we'll just dig it up and replace it. There's fittings that go from old to new. Yeah, so that
and
can be
digging?
pretty invasive stuff, but it also means the pipes are fixed and that's it. They'll be done and dusted and sorted for the next for a long time.
So you dig it up and with a small excavator or
You
and
can
then
hand dig it. Yeah, dig them up. They're normally about 800 deep, 6 to 800 deep.
and
So
and you'd install a PVC pipe, is it?
yeah, you cut them off at a point where they run into the new, or you find a good spot where it's
Okay.
easy accessible, and they've just got fittings that clamp onto the clay, and then replace it with new PVC fittings.
And
Um,
obviously this is all just the plumber will do all
this
this
is
scope.
a plumber's scope, yeah, yeah.
And how much should a plumber charge per meter of ripping up old terracotta?
Oh, look, it'd be probably look. The plumber would get it done, but the swapping the pipes over in a day, it'd just be about the digging, and if you have to get a machine in,
Yeah.
they're just a few of the variables.
But
Plumbers, they
say you had, I mean, 50 meters of this stuff that you need to dig up and replace in PVC,
would say something more common would be say about a 10 meter, 10
a
meter
10 meter.
line.
Oh, yeah. So,
So
okay.
you would say an excavator for a day, a plumber for a day, and some materials probably cost you. It might cost you about 3 grand, 3.5 grand. Um,
For
but
10 meters.
yeah, it's just you're working on the day rate. So you got to you get a machine in there for a day. It's going to cost you about 800, maybe $1,000. A plumber in for a day, it's going to cost you about the same. Um, and then just sort of allowing a bit of material. Um, I think it would probably cost you around that 3 grand. Um,
That's if you're sort of breaking it up right though. But if you gave it all to a plumber to come and just dig it and do it all, a little bit more of a premium, would you say?
I would say, yeah, then they'll be putting their margins and that on top.
Mm.
But again, just scoping out that job, knowing exactly what you're getting done, um, getting your 3 prices. You'd be surprised how much people's prices vary. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Roof repairs. So, I mean, you can do a bit of patchwork here and there to get by, but at some point you just need to bite the bullet and
Yes.
replace a roof. How much would it cost to, an average, say, three-bedroom house to
So
rip off the old,
we did
or I don't know,
an extension renovation in Woy Woy earlier this year. They had the old terracotta house. Their roof had been that roof restorations done to the old terracotta tiles. This time around, we stripped it and then went again with a new roof, and it was probably would have cost them. I think it was about 30 grand. That is stripping all the roof tiles off, the old battens, the old sarking. Then you've got to lay some new battens for the tin roof, and then fascia, gutter, insulation, roof sheets. So it's a big item, but they again, once that's done, your roof's going to be good for a long time.
yeah, I think
And
it's 70-year
yeah, yeah.
life design, the color bond, isn't it? 70, 80 years.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure, but once you put a new roof on, you won't be worrying about that for a long time.
Yeah. So, but you
Yeah,
could expect at least say 30-ish thousand to rip it all off and put a new color bond on it, say a standard
a
little
standard
three-bedder house.
three bedroom house, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
getting those old roof tiles off, getting rid of the rubbish, or the
Yeah.
uh,
So that cost, is another, I guess, reason why an individual unit in a block of 10 can be lower risk when it comes to these larger maintenance requirements. So say if the roof goes on a block of 10, it'd be around 80, 100,000, but that's shared amongst all the owners. So that's something to weigh up when investing for the long term, buying a house. Sure, you get the whole site, but it's more moving parts when it comes to maintaining upkeep that you can't
and
share the love around as much, obviously.
the it also once you've done that, it adds value back to the house and the property, so it's not um yeah, so you got to remember it is also adding value to the house when you're putting a new roof on it.
Yeah, capital improvements is always good. Kitchen renovations. So this is a typical style, I mean, for the listeners, of two types of condition we purchase. One on the left, where it's pretty original type of kitchen. One on the right, where it's already been freshly renovated. Andrew, how much would it cost to rip out this old original kitchen and to
And to
replace
put
it
in
with something similar to
similar
that?
to the image. Look, you can go in. I get a kitchen contractor in, something like that. I reckon they'll probably a strip and reinstate. It'd be around maybe 10 grand, and some of these give or take between 8 and 12 grand. Um, some of these when you get these kitchens with the kitchen contractors, they'll give you a package which will include your appliances, um, and all of that as well. You can also engage just like a lot of carpenters will come in and do a kitchen as well, where you do a lot of kitchens. If they're simple on that, you can get a Bunnings kitchen and have a carpenter or contractor put it together and install it. You might save a few bucks. But I would say between that 8 and 12 grand for a little kitchen like that.
Yeah, basic kitchen. And they'll do that in how long?
Look, about just I've heard some nightmare stories, but look, if we were doing something like this, what you would do is you'd have your kitchen all ordered, pretty much built, ready to go in. So you come in, we strip out, put it in. You'll be out of action for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 or 3 weeks,
Yeah.
at
Um,
least estimate a month,
yeah.
month to come in and strip it all out, muck around. So you
Put it
consider
in.
the downtime. Something like this, I mean, it's good to, if a tenant leaves, take the opportunity to do it during that period where you can still advertise it for rent. And then in the meantime, while you're looking for the next tenant, you can try and punch out a kitchen between. Bathroom renos, typical, same again, typical two styles we pick up for clients are either rough and ready
Yep.
or turnkey, already renovated. So how much would it cost, Andrew, and time to strip all this out to make it look like the
So,
one on the right?
so if it was a bathroom like this in it's your investment property, say, or look, you want to strip it out, put it back in, you want to keep your services in the same spot, it can start getting quite costly if you're moving toilets from A to B, showers from A to B, moving all your pipe work and your waste around. But for a like for like, getting yeah, a little bathroom like that, I'd say between maybe 18, 25.
Hmm.
We're doing bathrooms anywhere. Some bathrooms obviously can go right up to about 40 grand, but a little bathroom like this, look, you get a fixed contract for about 20, maybe including all your appliances, it might cost you 25 grand.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I recently put a bathroom out at Dalby, although it's probably had to pay a little bit more of a premium, but was a basic like for like,
yeah,
didn't move services around or anything like that. And it was about 25 grand.
yes,
Although they had to throw in a couple of extra um, piers because it was a
yeah,
um, house sitting on piers. It wasn't like on slab like this one is. But
yeah.
they are more expensive, even though it looks, I guess like small amount of work. There's a lot of trades that have to get in
You got
and
everything.
out of a bathroom, right? You got a what demo?
You got the demo. In old houses, most of the time you're dealing with asbestos, so you got
Yeah,
always engage a licensed asbestos removalist. Um, you got so you got your demo, you got your carpenters, you got your plumbers, electricians, your waterproofers, your tilers, your painters. Um, so you're sort of getting everyone involved on a bathroom.
yeah, yeah. A lot of moving parts. And how long? I mean, how
You
long can you
at,
knock out a bathroom?
at least 4 weeks. 4 weeks
Yeah,
is pretty standard. But yeah, 4 weeks, maybe give it another week, 4 to 5 weeks sometimes.
yeah.
Uh,
Nice one.
yeah,
Very good. I
you
think
could
that's
you just get your three quotes always.
yeah,
Recommendations, check their reviews, all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's easier to just find a builder you're confident in and let them take over because, like you said, there's a lot of moving parts in it. Make sure you're getting your certificates for your waterproofing, for your plumbing. Uh, Make sure, you're getting all those things because when you go to resell, um, sometimes the real estates and stuff will want those certificates.
100%. That reminds you of when I first did my renovation up at Maitland. I did all myself. Even I got electrician in and plumber, but everything else is
Mhm.
Alex and I. And when we actually went to sell it, was the original plan before we changed our strategy up and had someone exchange on the contract. And when they did their due diligence, they asked for the waterproofing certificate. And I said, "What do you mean?" I just went and got a bucket from Bunnings, slapped it on, and then that was it. That was the
Oh yeah, yeah.
straw that broke the camel's back with the uh, but anyway, but yeah, that's a good point to always get, even, if it might be basic sort of work. That's what I was thinking at the time. We could just get some waterproofing from Bunnings and paint it down
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
to save for a few $100 or $1,000.
yeah.
Ultimately, you're paying for that signed off certificate that some buyers will be after. So anyway, thanks for that, mate.
You're
I
welcome.
will leave Andrew's details in the comments below if anyone wants to reach out to United Built. If they're looking to do a renovation to their house, or if they've got a property on the Central Coast looking to do a development, a duplex, they're looking for a great builder to partner up with to help them through that project. Hit them up. They've done great work so far, and
Yep.
thanks for being online, and I'll have to catch up soon.
No worries.
Thanks,
Thanks, Geordie. Catch you later.
Thanks, Andrew.